bouncing in and out of box drills, ping pong, training skills. I thought I was by myself, going through these institutions because nobody ever reached out. No, I never got no calls. I never got no letters. I didn't get any calls from agencies that were representing us, First Nations. Going through these homes by myself quite a bit. But anyways, like I said, so I know the experiences. So for the past couple of weeks, like I said, I've been doing, like I said, I've been active for the last good 10, 12 years now. I learned quite a bit. It's been a real education. I didn't know nothing at first. I just knew how to survive. I knew the alleys, the parks, the language, the mentality on the streets. I know how to survive, boss. But anyways, but when I started getting active, I started learning about what happened. I didn't know residential schools had policies, rules, and laws. I didn't know there was such a term as 60 school. I didn't know all that stuff. All I knew was I was surviving. I was going in day out. One institution after another. During Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau's term, it's been requested for us to come today and do this. We didn't ask to be here. It's just by the power of the Creator that we're here today. We're doing this. It's time for us to start telling our story. This is my story. This is what happened to me. And when you tell your story, you're telling my story. You're telling our story. You're telling your grandfather's story and the grandfathers before. You're telling your mother's story. You're telling your other mother's stories. You're telling your family's stories. You're telling your brother's stories. You're telling your sister's stories of what happened to us. Why are we letting the media tell our story? Why are you letting, government tell our story? So, with this, with this little project that we've got going right now, YouTube is hot. YouTube is the best way to get the word out. First Nations issues are in the news, whether it be the pipelines, Standing Rock. People remember Oka. People remember other movements. I was a part of that INAC takeover. We occupied INAC for 8 days, which started a whole chain reaction of people occupying INAC buildings across the country. That's how bad people want to do things, hear things, and take part, tell our story. People have been waiting for a long time, and I feel it's time. The time is right now to do what we're doing. It's time for our people to stand up. It's time for our people to stop crying. It's time for our people to stand up and start helping. Be who we are. That's why I do what I do. I put myself up there. I go through quite a bit. That's another story I can tell you all about. But I've demonstrated rallies, taken over INAC. We help Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. We help other movements, because that's who we are. We help, we take care, and we've lost that. We have to bring that back. Not only bring back our culture, but bring back the care and the people that we are. Like I said, I've already, been through quite a bit. And for me now to do what I do today is an honor. I do it with pride, I do it with, because I'm First Nations, man. I'm a Ojibwe and proud of it. I've always been proud of who I am, no matter which institution I was in, no matter where I was doing time. People call you chief, go through that, wherever you are. They hold you up high and say, Yeah, we've been here 20,000 years. They're saying Canada's what, 150 years old? Well, guess what, man? I don't think so. We've been here 20,000 years in the neighborhood. So take that with pride. You know? This is our land.
Yeah.
You know, this is not their. You know, this is our land. We were here a lot longer than they were. So take that with you. And I'm hoping, you know, we do reach some sort of agreement with these people that came over 500 years ago. You know, that we come to terms with them, that we settle our issues with them. Because there's been a lot of destruction here, there's been a lot of pain here. And our elders tell us of, you know, the different teachings and the different sayings and the different prophecies that have been talked about over the years. You know, some of those prophecies, you know, they're starting to come alive. So, you know, I recommend that you listen to Vern Harper when he talks. Vern Harper has a lot of history, a lot of knowledge, a lot of teachings, and this is why one of the reasons why we're doing this today. We're trying to record what he knows, because right now government wants to destroy, crush First Nations, so that they can get at the mineral, so that they can get at the water, so they can get at the air. What we hold precious, what we hold sacred, life is sacred, you know. But kind of hoping, you know, like I said, I hope everything works out, man. You know, a lot of things happening in the world. And our people have to start getting together. We have to start waking up now. And they put us to sleep with all the stuff that they've done. With the residential schools, the sixth school, the alcoholism, the drug addiction. Not only did they put us to sleep, they put the people that came here to sleep, so that they're not aware of our issues, they're not aware of our pain and the things that we went through. You know? So it's time for us to wake up, man. We have to start getting together. We have to start pulling together. You know, we call ourselves First Nations. Well, let's be First Nations. You know, not Ojibwe, not Cree, not Oneida, Mohawk. No, we're Indians, and we have to come together and be one. So, Vern, I thank you today for this moment. Thank you for the walking stick. Thank you for letting me speak. And I thank everybody that's here today. What more can I say? You know, I've been trying to do what I could for the past 10 years. See, I'm not doing this because I want to be out there. I want to do this because, no, they hurt me. No, they did it to my brother, who I care about. They did it to my other brothers, who I care about. I have to watch my brothers on the street, man. I have to watch my brothers die in front of me. You think I'm going to let that go? You think I'm going to let that happen? No, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to start talking, man. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And you know what? I feel better now. Now I know what happened with my story. My story is your story. My story is our story. So I'm kind of hoping, you know, other people catch on, other people start supporting. Maybe you don't want to do it in this way, in this fashion. Maybe you want to stand up in other ways. But it's time for our people to start standing up, start putting the bottle down, start putting the drugs down, and be who we are, First Nations. When you start putting the drugs down, when you start putting the alcohol down, and other things that hold you down, it's a natural process where First Nation in you starts coming out and being who you are. Miigwech.
No. To each other and yet for years I've been involved in occupations and yeah. I started in the late 50s, early 60s at Alcatraz, and then Wounded Knee, and then the Caravan, and a number of them. And someone asked me if I was going to go down to cross the border and get involved. And I said, I've always been involved, but right now I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm helping to raise our grandchildren. And grandparents shouldn't have to do that, but we do. Moshums and Kokums, we have to take care of our grandchildren. And I'm hoping that cycle is going to break. But I'm very thankful that in the 50s, when I lived on the reserve, that if it wasn't for the Kokums, we wouldn't have survived. Because a lot of our people didn't learn how to be parents, because of the residential schools and the foster homes. And in my reserve, my cousin, when I went and looked for my family and found them, in that as a Muslim, my responsibility, I have the honor of raising a grandson. And it's really sad, you know, when you see that we still have to break the cycles. Our women have to still, you know, they got to start healing and taking care of their children and not pass it off to the grandparents. But what can we do, you know, as grandparents? If our daughters and sons are not going to look after their children, then us grandparents have to do that. And there's a history on that, on the reserves. I've seen that in my lifetime. I've seen where the Kokums, more than the Muslims were there, but they were busy hunting and working. But as the Kokum was keeping the families together, I remember my mother-in-law, her little pension she got, she was taking care of about 20 of us, maybe. And on that little pension, she was feeding us, and then she was also teaching us, and it's the Kokums that have kept the families together on the reserve. And now, my wife and me, we have great, we see it as a great blessing, but it's a sad one too. Sad one when our daughters can't take care of their children. And we're trying our best to break that system, but it's hard struggle. And I'm just thankful that my little grandson has me and has his Kokum to be there to protect him. But it's sad when I see him walking up this street with my wife to go to school. She takes him there, and the father's not capable. Yeah, my son-in-law and my little grandson, I call them the Riley boys. And someone asked me, why do you call them the Riley boys? I think before your time, I don't think you guys, it's over your head, I think. But there was a program called The Life of Riley, and it's about the Irish Life of Riley. So I say my son-in-law and my grandson, I call them the Riley boys because they sleep all the time and lay around. They have the Life of Riley. That's what they call it, the Life of Riley. My wife has asked me not to call them that. In our culture, our humor is really important. And I'm really thankful that my reserve, Mr. Wassaykeesic, I was there for Treaty Day, and I never really understood our relationships with the trees and that, but I really see how important they are, because it gives us the ones, our relatives, and the ones who are not living on the reserve we are in the city, but